Okay, I just noticed the mic was off. So, that was... nothing. Let's go check out you again. Want to actually do the fight? It feels like Steve would want to. He's not here to negotiate. That beat all. Yes, okay. Whatever. Do this thing, you chumps. Back, keep it around the back, and it's snowing, so all their wings are gonna be frozen, and... mistakes. Hi. This side. Burrito. Weird, every time I see that name now, I'm gonna think Elon Musk first. That guy is crazy smart. Man, I don't even want to... actually kind of think that I haven't saved this in ages. It's saved. The audio wasn't jacked on the last one. But... well, hopefully not. I think it was doing its whole audio thingy, so hopefully it's fine. These guys are very purple. This is also pretty much like the only time you ever fight them. You come to think that maybe those purple colors should be available for more people outside this fight. Because seriously, they just never come up. He's gonna stand there as a meat grinder for that exact spot, but come up. He ended up hitting that one so hard and whiffing it that the snow turned off. As it does. Victoria always makes me think of Victoria again from Armored Core, because it reminds me of an Armored Core thing. That series is very old now. I'm hard to believe that thing's 20 years old now. Still no one's heard of it. You know, it's not even surprising that they stopped making them after a while. Like, yeah, this makes us no money at all, and the community has a tendency to just collapse in on itself every time it starts back up again. Which is funny because, it's mostly a customization thing. It's actually something you see in COD a lot too, where people get so attached to the stuff they make that it gets a bit dire. Like, I've seen several times now where people have gotten into fights like, no, check out my super generic thing, it's so cool, you guys. And then somebody points out, you know, like, this is actually generic as hell, I'm pretty sure everyone's got one of these sitting around somewhere. Like, no, it's my personal thing, I did it so good, though. Like, literally all they did was take the same thing that's on the frickin' box and paint it red. Really? That's not exactly creative or even trying, but oh well. Like I said, people get into weird stuff with that. Yeah, let's get rid of that one in the back, I think. Like, honestly, I think stuff like this just ends up having a kind of a better likelihood of having a nice community, at least, because when you're talking about, you know, party compositions and that sort of thing, not really any room for people to do that kind of crap. It's kind of a bummer because there's so many games out there with good customization and everything, and that's just the kind of stuff they run into. Turn to that one guy that needs absolute validation for everything that they do. They just need everybody to praise their friggin' stuff they farted out that morning, and what's that gonna do exactly? Actually, probably the reason that Souls ended up taking off and Ace didn't, if you ask me. Because it's got options for people putting together stuff, but it doesn't have whole do whatever you want kind of stuff. Like, by the end of AC, they had a whole thing of, like, you put decals on stuff, you make your personal emblem, you make your personal coloration, you have your personal tuning on everything. There's too much personalization, and like I said, it leads to people fighting. Like, even when it comes to stuff where like, the best way I can put it is, like, if you've seen two kids fighting with their Legos, right? And one of them builds a square, and the other one builds a functional thing. And then the person who built the functional thing is going to be pissed because they put in more effort. But it doesn't matter what you throw at that square, it's going to be the tougher thing. Which, you know, personally I ran into a few times growing up, because I mentioned this board game thing I put together a while ago. And sure enough, there was this kid I would babysit, and every time he would go and try to build just a cube. I'm like, look, yeah, that's gonna win, but A, that's boring as hell, and B, that's basically cheating, because what's that thing gonna do? I mean, I think we eventually agreed on the whole idea of no, it'll have some kind of eating issues or something, and it would just implode. I forget exactly how it went. I'm not convinced him to stop doing that, but like, you just would see that kind of stuff come up all the time, where it was never balanced as well as it really could have or should have been. So, in order to get the most fun out of a lot of entries in it, you really just kind of had to roll with the punches and just like, no, you know, you don't do certain things because it's kind of dickish, and best example is the one that I've been farting out videos for on a pretty much minutely basis. So that one's this one where you pretty much put together like an arena of sorts. You go and you make an AI pattern. You make a build for it to use, and basically just say, like, look, here's what I want you to do. Here's your rough goals. You have a few things for, like, doing specific commands every 30 seconds. And then you just, like, tune all the stuff and customize it. And what I used it for was going and having the different stuff in the series fight each other, which was pretty darn fun. But yeah, so you know, it's kind of like that whole Saturday morning cartoon thing of like, oh man, what would happen if this guy fought this guy? So I thought it was kind of a fun project to do. But yeah, then you'd still see every now and then that there was a thought of like, you know, I'm gonna go build this thing, it's gonna go beat all the other things, and like, if you build a wall with 2 heavy weapons on it, it's gonna beat everything anyway, and then the only thing that's gonna fight it is another very similar thing, because the AI is dumb as hell. Like, there is a very clear, obvious winner here, no matter what the situation, so there's no point in competing. You just do the whole what-if thing. That's what makes it fun. So, with a little bit of balancing, with a little bit of toning stuff back, would have been interesting to see. I've been ranting about AC for how many parts now? Probably too many. I apologize if it's annoying. Any darn ways. So back to Tio. I would figure, if they ever make a Tio sequel, I hope they end up taking some, taking a couple nods from Banner Saga. I say a couple, only a couple, because yes, that whole turn system thing was very abusable. Somebody pointed that out to me a while ago, and oh wow. That is super abusable. Like, you could just shut down the entire enemy party by weakening a few units, and like, you weakened them in a particular order and they could do absolutely nothing. But, what was I saying here? Oh yeah. So, for one thing, it was cool to have a banner. Like, it was cool to be able to customize your banner. I really hope that's something that they add in. I want to say there were a couple that wanted to do that sort of thing. Don't know. But, what was the other thing? I guess kind of a supply system would be cool. I don't know how that would even be implemented, but I just think it would be cool to see. Alright, are you guys done getting mauled in the face yet? Can you just let me in? I mean, we came in peace so hard that we shifted all the way to war, okay? It happens. Also, I think these units are just messing with me at this point. Look at this. They end up getting hit by 28s and 40% and everything constantly, but as soon as something's about to finish them off, suddenly they're just in the frickin' Matrix. Alright, nope. Nothing can touch me now. I just suddenly discovered bullet time. They're like injured but never dead. They're just weirdly reveling in some kind of bizarre sadomasochism. There we go. I say some bizarre variant of it because, I can kind of see what would appeal to people there. Everyone's got their own stuff. Not gonna judge. Can you act? Quite so. Yeah, this wasn't even a negotiation. They had the option for negotiation. He was just sitting there at the table like, nope. We're coming in and seizing the place. I was actually hoping to rehab it and turn it into a casino. So, we don't really need any squatters inside. Once again, I want to point out that for being a religious group, he did kind of presumably kill off everyone in here. Or maybe it was left unguarded, or I forget if people inside just defected. Maybe Steve just wants to kill out the traitors, I don't know. He's Steve, he's a weirdo. Once again, delving into bizarre, can that even be said territory? Oh well. Man, what is this weirdness? It's actually letting me use the overhead camera today. Now, this music kind of reminds me of the crypt music from KOL, now that I think about it. Why don't we... Poor bastard just backed into a wall here. No, they're everywhere, the bees! They're coming for my eyeballs. And just balls. Why are they after my balls? Is that gonna be the new canon now? They like to smack everyone in the balls? Seems possible. Seems like a lot of extra effort, though. There was actually an achievement for Saints Row 3. There was something like that. They, basically they had a thing that would pop up on the score every now and then if you shot somebody in the nuts called testicular manslaughter. And yeah, they had this achievement for, like, doing that 100 times or something. So there was this one time that it just got an entire group really pissed off and sat on the stairway, just, like, repeatedly somebody in the nuts. It was messed up. I wish you no harm. Please stop murdering everyone. Oh, I came to talk. Yeah, wounded. Yeah, that's what we're going with. Although this scene, I really appreciate. It's actually one of the reasons I wanted to do it this way. Because this scene actually shows that when you're fighting the other guys there, they are also taking wounds and not necessarily casualties. Although they're counted as casualties in the report. Oh no! Blue showed up. Yeah, then some plot happened. It's so sad. Moving on. Bye, plot. Sure. Bloodstained hero. You were unable to avoid bloodshed. We're unable. That's what we're going with. Anyway, back to other stuff. Oh yeah, so we gotta do that whole thing next. So, this run's about to surpass the other one. Yeah, see you then.